The Switch 2 is the biggest joke of a console that I have ever seen. Hi, I'm Gimbelson, and I had a video I wanted to make before the Switch 2 even came out. I had a few predictions about it, had some hopes, had some things I wanted to discuss. However, making content is hard, and now the Switch 2 is out. I say now, but at the time of writing this script, it's June 4th at 11 p.m. It'll be out while I record these lines. So in this video, I want to talk about what I expected as well as the 2020 hindsight that we now have. I also want to quickly disclaimer, I'm throwing shade specifically at the people who got final say in pricing and marketing at Nintendo. The people who work on the games deserve every dollar they make. Do not lump in the actual creative game designers with the literal embodiment of greed that is their superiors. Let's begin with why I expected absolutely nothing from Nintendo. The Switch 1 was a revolutionary console for its time. In 2017, it was just a console with a 3DS attached to it, and it was $300. That was amazing, and we would all enjoy the Switch 1 for most of our remaining childhood. Then Nintendo made the Switch OLED just 4 years later. After extensive research from my previous script, I deduced the Switch OLED to essentially be the same. It does have a better screen, similar battery lives, and it has a slightly better kickstand that no one is going to use, and an annoying extra 0.8 inches. God, Nintendo, you grant us boons filled with your generosity. You billion-dollar parasite. While $50 extra on the Switch OLED isn't the craziest increase in payment for the moderate adjustments to an otherwise already failing console that is being outsped by its competitors, you have to think like someone back then. Before the Switch 2, there was really nothing. You had no idea it was a concept until maybe late 2024. I mean, it's been, what, 3 years? There's been no confirmed statements or even confirmed leaks this far into the Switch's lifespan. So why not? The next console is probably something else that won't show this decade. I mean, it's been 7 years since the first Switch, for God's sake. If you want the best, get the OLED. So bam, another $350 later for what you think is the best the market can and will afford. Then the Switch 2 was announced, and honestly, why would you get excited for it? Here's where I'd like to talk about my predictions for the console itself. I expected the Xbox One equivalent of a console, a PS4 from Nintendo. The time span from the Switch 1 to the OLED and the OLED to the Switch 2 is the same. 4 years. Xbox and PlayStation were trying to push forward with their own monsters of consoles during that time, but the OLED was proof Nintendo didn't need to make anything better. Instead, Nintendo decided to make the first $70 game and ruin the entire video game market for everyone. So general review, Nintendo is lazy, and the fact that in the last 4 years they expanded the screen by 0.8 inches, it was pretty clear to me that they weren't going to make a console worth the expected $500. So what did we get? We got a beast of a console. It actually runs at crazy graphics, runs games at an actually good 60 FPS, and measures up to its competitors. That's all without even docking it. It is violent how good the console clearly is, and I'm glad to have been wrong about it. Mind you, I was not happy to come to the conclusion we came to earlier. That's just what I thought would happen with the information I was given. It was also good. Almost too good. Nintendo, of course, had to ruin everything. Not only did they make their online subscription service more desired with GameCube games, but they also decided to ruin the game market even more. They made Mario Kart of all games $80 to $90, $80 for the digital copy and $90 for the physical, and we'll get into why that really doesn't matter anymore. Nintendo is trying variable pricing, and that's stupid for a company that makes more money than I could even fathom. I get the idea, trying to pay your employees more, but A, I highly doubt they do that. B, do you seriously think money is the issue when they're worth this much? And C, why is that my responsibility? Listen, if you make an amazing game priced at $10 and only 1% of the population purchases it, do you want to know how much money you would make? $800 million. Assuming we're only 8 billion people and 1% of the population is 80 million, that means you make $800 million of your game. But let's lowball even more. Let's say only 1 million people like your $10 game. Congrats, that's $10 million. And if you cannot pay your entire game company with $10 million, while Toby Fox literally does what we are making an example out of, you are doing something wrong as a game dev. 10 million does not sound like a lot, but do you even fathom how much money that is? That could be a team of 200 people who are paid $50K each year. Now obviously there are factors my math doesn't account for, that's not how game devs are paid, and being right is hard, but you get the picture. There's more than enough money going around with a purchase like that to make a profit, as if Nintendo needs that. Keep in mind the money we just discussed would take this much out of the current amount of money they have. Yeah. Are you starting to fathom this? But that's not where their greed ends, no. They also think you don't deserve things. Nintendo has a new user account agreement that will become active on June 5th, 2025 when the Switch 2 comes out, or like today, I guess, for me, and it states the following. You agree that you may not A, publish, copy, modify, reverse engineer, lease, rent, decompile, disassemble, distribute, offer for sale, or create derivative works of any portion of the Nintendo account services. B, mess with or otherwise circumvent any of its functions or protections of the Nintendo account services, including through the use of any hardware or software that would cause the Nintendo account services to operate other than in accordance with its documentation and intended use. C, obtain, install, or use any unauthorized copies of Nintendo account services. Or D, exploit the Nintendo account services in any manner other than to use them in accordance with the applicable documentation and intended use. In each case, without Nintendo's written consent or expressive authorization, or unless otherwise expressively permitted by applicable law, you acknowledge that if you fail to comply with the foregoing restrictions, Nintendo might revoke the Nintendo account services and/or the applicable Nintendo device permanently unusable in whole or part. Boring legal junk aside, let me summarize this for you. Nintendo is saying that if you use their product the wrong way, they will break your console. You know, the thing you paid for, and they don't even mention anything about refunds. That's like if I sold you a phone, said, hey, don't install Flappy Bird. You installed Flappy Bird anyway, then I broke into your house and threw your phone in the blender. And I'm legally in the right, apparently. Are you starting to comprehend how unreasonable that is? You made a purchase, and the company you bought this from can just take it away. That raises the argument, what are you even paying for? Permission? What are we, middle schoolers asking to go to the bathroom now? I bought the thing. You have my money. Who cares? I am of the apparently insane belief that if I purchase something, I should own it. Now, Steam does something similar, granting you a key to the games like Nintendo does now, and tells you that you don't actually own these games. There are a few reasons why this works with Steam but not Nintendo. For one, it doesn't, but Steam grants you multiple outs of owning a product. You can refund something within a certain amount of time, so if you don't like the game after purchase and 2 hours of gameplay, then you can just get your money back. 2, Steam does sales like all the time. It's not for some back alley game you've never heard of. Steam will make sure that good stuff goes on sale if you wait for the year-round sale events. And 3, with Steam, you are downloading and purchasing software, not hardware. It doesn't work for the Switch 2 because you are using hardware. You can lose it, it can break, people can just steal from you. Of course, they won't have the license to play the Switch 2 because they didn't purchase it, but if they're stealing from you, I don't think the law is within their realm of concerns. So what, if it breaks, can you just get another one? I mean, you don't own the Switch 2, you own the license to play the Switch 2. After some decent skimming, I found only responsibility through your ownership of the Nintendo user account and other software stuff. I did not see anything for the hardware, although I'm sure there is something in there that I just haven't seen yet. Regardless, this is just a glimpse into how stupid this is. It's mine. If I break it, I most likely have to pay for it. You should not have the right to just kill my console because you said so. Now I get the argument. Well, just don't pirate anything on the Switch 2 then. That's not the problem. The issue is you can pay for something and they can just take it away from you. How long until the Switch 2 OLED comes out and you just say the word Mario into the microphone, then they send a guy to come in there, burn your Switch 2 alive and make you watch? That'll be $700. I get why they're being so strict though. Back then when they just started out, they almost had the Donkey Kong IP just taken away from them until they were saved by John Kirby. And that sounds like some bad joke, but that's just how it happened. That's why Kirby is named Kirby. However, and I'm about to invalidate every trauma victim with this, but grow the fuck up. It has been 41 years since then. I mean, are you still this insecure about copyright laws? That's like if I was worried about people stealing my Dragon Ball video, so I blow up the studio and kill anyone who makes anything close to a shonen with a goofy protagonist that has color-changing hair and at minimum 4 transformations. Luffy, I'm gonna waterboard you. What happened to gaming as a whole? This used to be an escape, a way for me to spend a few bucks and enjoy my childhood, but now I need to spend hundreds to own the idea of a machine and some code, purchase a few DLCs or waves of content that make the game even slightly enjoyable, and only then do I get to play a game that I probably won't even like. Not only that, but they throw Pokemon at you at 60 FPS in order to get you to purchase permission for their shitty new console. God damn it. Anyway, on October 16th, Pokemon Legends Z2A comes out. I'm going to release a full playthrough within the first week,